Yo guys, back for another one of these. I'm gonna make these more consistent. This is a story I've never told, at least, online publicly. I've told the story plenty of times, but never really directly told it. I've addressed it or referenced it, but here we go. This is about the time that I threw my first Irish collar and elbow wrestling event when I was first getting into it, the revival that is, and I had the jackets, I'd read the book, I'd subjected plenty of my training partners to it, studied it in and out, put a lot of obsession into it, and I was ready to, unveil unveil it to a bunch of people, to a wider group, through a seminar. And I've been posting a lot of memes. You guys may have seen it on this page. Maybe I'll edit into this video, maybe not, but I had a lot of stupid, funny collar and elbow memes that I was posting and continue to post in order to promote it. Mostly making fun of jiu-jitsu, and again, I've done jiu-jitsu, I've grappled, I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but I was just, making fun of or taking the piss at jiu-jitsu, if you will. And they were just dumb memes, like the superiority, the dignified collar and elbow over jiu-jitsu. Anyway, that kind of segues into what I'm doing here. So, or talking about, I had done a PowerPoint too. I was ready to start off this seminar with a PowerPoint informing people about collar and elbow, like what it was, why it was an Irish tradition, the techniques, the idea of it before we got into everything. That's very new, something for me, something I am not skilled with. If you guys know, like, I suck at making these videos. I failed computer classes all throughout high school. I was terrible at that type of thing. So doing a PowerPoint was, putting it together and doing it was unthinkable for me. So here we are, the day of the seminar. I got about 20 something people in a friend of mine's wrestling gym where I was, gonna do this Irish collar and elbow event. I'm trying to get the computer to work and like set it up to the TV so that I can demonstrate this PowerPoint. So that's stressing me out, and it's not really working, and it's like time to start. And in walks a local guy that I recognize, a jiu-jitsu black belt. So we got all these people in here ready to try collar and elbow, wrestlers, grapplers. The jackets were not widely manufactured. I was the only one with a pair. I had 2 jackets total for the, the knot work collar and elbow jackets at the time. So everyone was bringing in jiu-jitsu gis to this wrestling gym. And within the same lot, there is a jiu-jitsu gym. And I recognized this guy that walked in as that guy. And he looked kind of like angry or crazy. We never really interacted with him. But at first, I thought maybe he'd seen the memes. He was offended by the jiu-jitsu memes, and he was here to defend jiu-jitsu. And I was like, in my head, like, holy shit, is this really happening? Like, this seems like, like too good to be true. Like, this is funny. Like almost like the jabs I was taking at jiu-jitsu caused an actual conflict. But it turned out he'd seen one of my friends coming in with a jiu-jitsu gi and assumed that they were going to his gym. So he's like, hey, no, the gym's over here. And they're like, oh, you're here for the seminar? So as soon as this guy heard that there was a seminar going on and it wasn't his gym or whatever, he was seeing red and he went nuts. Anyway, he walked in with a fairly young looking, possibly underage looking girl. I won't say or accuse that, but definitely a little suspect. This guy's probably in his 40s, and he was a renowned jiu-jitsu guy. He was a big competitor, older dude, possibly on steroids, was known for that, was known for being a little bit of a crazy guy and on drugs at times, and or drinking, drunk, possibly both or a combination of all the above here. But I know he was not unwell, or he was not well. We'll get to that in a bit. He was not well. But either way, the guy came in completely hostile, being a dick. And like I said, I was doing this PowerPoint. I see this guy, I lock eyes with him. He's like, what's going on here? Just comes in with hard dog energy, like right away. What is this? And like, it's kind of weird. Like, we're all getting ready to start. He's like, what the fuck is this? This is a do not compete clause in the contract, which there wasn't anyway, but he was going off like that. And he's like, you're doing judo without me? You're doing jiu-jitsu? You should have come ask me. I'm a world champion. I'm there. And then he looks at me, he's like, who are you? What are your credentials? What's your credentials? And this was actually before I had done any of the snake pit or stuff like that. So it's ironic because eventually I did reach the same, credentials or world champion or something. But back then, I don't know what my highest achieving thing was. I grappled in plenty of tournaments. I'd won some random absolute divisions and grappling things. But he was basically trying to put me down and be like, I'm the fucking guy. Like, if you're going to be doing this, you should come to me. And I remember being like, dude, we're doing Irish collar and elbow. Like, You've never done that. No one has done that in the last 150 years. I'm about to start a PowerPoint. How about you sit down and we explain we're not doing judo? He's like, it's the same shit. It's the same. You doing this? Like, what the? He just wanted to pick a fight and he was going nuts. And eventually I was like, dude, either we can do that. We're going to even do it at the end. So like, if you want to really like go, then we can do it. We're going to go live here at the end, but let me do this PowerPoint. You can sit down like everyone else, pay the $5 or whatever the donation that I did was, and let's move on. Otherwise, get out. I was, like I said, trying to start. After a minute or two, I realized, like, dude, it feels like I'm arguing with a toddler. Is this really happening? Like, dude, get out of here. And then he tried to pitch you know, a match between him and I. He's like, me versus you, or me and my guys versus you and you guys. We're gonna do it. I was like, fine, we'll do it. Like, we can even do it today if you want, but just get it over with, or like, you know, sit and chill, and we can have our match at the end. Like, there's gonna be a live portion. And who knows, the guy might have fucked me up. I never actually got to go with him. In overall grappling, I know I would have tore him up, but like at that time, I was not the greatest at Irish collar and elbow. I'm still feel like I'm not the greatest. I've never actually had a match. We're gonna change that soon. I've just studied it and put a lot of time into coaching it and breaking it down, and was passionate about trying to revive it. But either way, like, that's beside the point. Eventually, the guy leaves, and I was, you know, furious the whole time, thinking like, this guy really came in and tried to ruin my shit. Some of the people that were there, like, that I didn't know, that weren't my students, or even some of the ones that were my students, like, they thought that I paid that guy, or like I set up this. It was so like perfect seeming that I set up that guy to like come dojo storm on some like Karate Kid shit, or like because of my memes, or to like really get everybody hyped. Like, see, it's causing a problem within the jiu-jitsu world. But yeah, I don't know. It was a funny start for Irish collar and elbow, though, to be met with objection by that. I've been wanting to tell this story, but with that story being told, though, I have to you know, do the full story some justice. The guy, I won't mention his name, but like I said, he was known around here. He was a very high level competitor early on when jiu-jitsu was not super popular around here. And he was known for, you know, being somewhat problematic and extremely competitive, extremely chaotic guy. Like, he'd be showing up drunk, or having his students, you know, teach class because he was going benders and be missing, and have his students drive him places when he was drunk, or possibly all types of chaotic, you know, things associated with instructors. And like I kind of referenced before with the girl, maybe there was something to do with her being a little young, or he was her coach, and you know, that's not an uncommon thing in jiu-jitsu either. But no matter this, it was an insane moment in time. And the unfortunate reality is, I think maybe a couple years ago here now, the guy actually got into like a crazy like police standoff and set his house on fire, and ended up committing suicide. He was definitely a bit of a loose cannon, like many people in martial arts are, unfortunately. Like, we use this as a way to, you know, tame our demons, so to speak. And he was definitely a troubled guy, and I hate that that's what it had to come to. And I held a lot of hatred for the guy in my heart for a while. Like, I really wanted to kick his ass, or like have a showdown with him. And then even after I did start to win the world titles, I was like, oh, how perfect would it be? Like, maybe for Wrestling Wars or something, like I could face this guy, and we can have a fucking grudge match, and it'd be great, and whatever else. And he was, you know, a respectable warrior at one time. I think I would have kicked his ass, but unfortunately, yeah, he went down. Rest in peace to him. I would have liked to have, you know, not seen it go that way, or see him turn things around, or maybe we could have even had a match or whatever. I held some hostile feelings towards him for that day that he did that, but I know it probably was not anything personal. Obviously, it was just something I was passionate about and put a lot of energy in. And the way I saw it, someone was coming in trying to fuck it up and, you know, bring hostility where it didn't need to be. But yeah, I mean, clearly there was some sad stuff, crazy stuff going on with him. And actually, I got a full circle moment about it at the gym that I do teach at. His son ended up in one of my classes, oddly enough, after his dad had passed. And I made sure to like encourage the son and go, like, give him some extra attention and let him know he was a good grappler and whatever else, and just try to, you know, be there and support however I could. He hasn't come back since, and I don't know. I wish him well. I hate that that's how the story gone down. Like I said, it would have been a lot nicer if this story didn't have that undertone to it. But all in all, definitely a crazy moment for Irish collar and elbow. Definitely a surreal moment that you know, not everyone goes to a seminar and gets that type of experience, especially the first of its kind. And yeah, again, rest in peace to him. And on a more positive note, there's been plenty of collar and elbow seminars and events that I've done since, whether it was around here or in Ireland. I've taught in nearly every corner of Ireland, subjected just about everyone to collar and elbow. Some were specifically and entirely collar and elbow, and I'm going to be doing plenty more. If you want to host me at your gym for an Irish collar and elbow seminar, wherever you are in the world, message me. Let's see about setting it up. It would be an honor to. I would love to. I'm going to be putting a lot of time into collar and elbow going forward. And maybe I'll start to tell you guys some of my crazy origin stories of the mystical and a little bit wild side of things, spiritual side of things, of why this is my main quest. But that's it for now, guys. I'll see you in the next one.